So what we've done so far is generally really just sound overall text advice and giving you patterns and principles so that in any situation you can think for yourself and you can figure out a good solution. What I'm going to do very briefly is I'm going to show you what I call some text cheat codes. These are either specific texts or specific situational things that you can do that will massively boost your text game. They don't fall into the category of like a general concept, but I use them a lot. They're incredibly effective, and they'll help you to get through a lot of scenarios where you'd have a lot of trouble otherwise, and it's so smooth, so easy. So I just want to share these little techniques that I've discovered over the years with you so you can start using them as well. The first cheat code is a specific text that you can send, or a specific category of text you can send. And these texts are the text question mark, or dot, 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 or dot, 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 question mark. Any of those three work as text that you could send. And the context is this. You've had a good text communication so far. Okay, things have been going well overall. You have every reason and entitlement to expect a response given the history. Also, the last text you sent was a totally good text. There was nothing wrong or needy or creepy or weird about it. And then she just doesn't respond. She just goes silent, right? And you're like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't do anything wrong. Everything's good. Why did she go silent? And now you look at like maybe the text model and you're like, oh shit, well, she went silent. I gotta go all the way back to square one and start pinging value into the void. That's retarded. That's retarded. Super, super slow. It actually becomes needy the other way. It's like you don't feel entitled to a good response. You're trying to like, be entertaining rather than just demanding an answer. Think to yourself, if you are making plans or things were going really well in a conversation with a friend and they just didn't respond to you, like a good friend, what would you send them? You'd send them one of these texts, question mark, dot, 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 question mark. You might even sometimes send WTF question mark, right? That's a little bit more of like an extreme one, but even that could work in some cases. I recommend against that one with girls just because it can come off as a little butthurt, but there are contexts where it could be okay, But I usually recommend the softer ones. The point though is with a friend, you'd send this text as in, hey, bro, respond. You should send the same exact thing to a girl because that says to her that you're an entitled person and you believe you deserve a response. And that's high value, right? When you believe to a girl that you deserve a response, that's high value. Now, very importantly, cannot be butthurt, right? Should not be try hard, should not be butthurt. You should never be angry she didn't respond, but you should be just like an eye roll type of response like, okay, cool, you didn't respond, dot, 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 you could respond now, okay? That kind of a thing, that kind of attitude is what you want to put across. And funny enough, I was at first like scared to send text like this. I'm like, oh, I'll ruin it, or it's too try hard, it's too pushy, but actually it's not. It's entitled. It shows you believe in yourself and she will respect that in most cases. Again, the prerequisite though is the general texting's been good and your previous text wasn't god-awful. If your previous text was god-awful or the texting so far has been pretty bad, then it probably won't work. But in a context where things are good, it works a dramatic amount of the time, and oftentimes it works to restart the conversation right back where you left off instead of having to start way back at the start and build it all up again. So use these texts, be entitled, go do it. Next cheat code is actually for a similar kind of situation to the previous one, but a more extreme version. So let's say that things have been going really well in general, all her texts have been positive, but she's gone silent, and maybe she's gone silent a couple times in like short-ish succession. So maybe she went silent, you had a couple texts, and then she went silent again. You don't want to keep sending dot, 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 question mark, or question mark, or whatever. So now, what I will suggest is you can actually call out the weirdness of the fact she vanished. So I have this one text that I send, which is, Dear Diary, cute girl vanished, should I send search party? Which is very, very effective. But anything along those lines, along the lines of, so I really like this girl, but she seems to have vanished into the ether, should I be concerned? Something like that. Like try not to like word for word use the same text that every single guy who's gonna be watching this is gonna use, but understand that you wanna text for that scenario. You wanna text for that scenario where like she just went AWOL, went ghost on you. Dear Diary, was texting this cute girl, turns out she's actually Casper the ghost. It doesn't even matter, right? The point is something that just points out the weirdness of the situation, okay? It's very effective, again, because you're being entitled, you're pointing it out, and you're pointing out the weirdness. This, again, only works, though, if everything up until that point has been generally positive. If it's been generally negative, it will not work, okay? Being entitled will not get you through a negativity. It will not get you through a texting error of escalating in a negative situation. But if you've been following all the rules properly, then it should work really well. This actually is a great bailout as well for a lot of times, say you're following all the principles of text, It's silence, you offer value, shit test, you pass the shit test. Logical or question, maybe you write an answer that fits the right format, but maybe you didn't do quite enough with it. Like you didn't give her an easy response, and so she goes silent. You didn't mess up, you didn't lose value, but you just didn't make it easy for her to respond. Then something like calling her out on, be like, hey, so I need some advice. I met this cute girl, but she seems to be mute. Something like that, right? You call her out on it, now all of a sudden, that text where you didn't do quite enough, now you've added to it, you've done a little more, but in a fun, cute, funny way, not a butthurt way. I'm gonna re-emphasize that like 2 more times. Not a butthurt way, 1 more time, not a butthurt way. If it comes off butthurt, it will not work. But if it's like cute and funny, and you call out the absurdity of her vanishing, that can be very, very effective. Third amazing cheat code, memes and pictures are your friends. Okay, they convey so much so quickly. You send a picture of yourself with a backdrop of some amazing view, especially an amazing view that conveys you're traveling, you're doing some cool thing in your life. That conveys so much without you having to say anything. Instead of you having to brag, you just send the picture. And it's way, way, way less try harder. You send a funny meme, it's a great way to offer value, build the relationship, build the vibe, but it's completely not try hard, okay? Memes and pictures are massively, massively useful. What I suggest, as you're mass texting, try out various memes with your practice girls, right? Try out various pictures, try out various memes, and start developing a little bit of a collection, right? Develop a little collection of memes that you can send at various times. And you can have memes for various sorts of circumstances. Like, for example, I know, I haven't done this in a long time, but years ago, it worked really well for me. I had a meme. After I'd have sex with a girl, I'd send her a meme that said, like, sex with you was so good, we should celebrate by having sex. Right? And it establishes this fun, flirty frame, but it avoids that awkwardness of, oh God, what do I send the next day if she doesn't text me, right? It's a nice meme, it works, it's funny, it fits that circumstance, right? There's another one, there's another one that says like, you're so sexy when you shut up or something like that, which is a great meme that you can send when the girl's sending you silence back, similar to the sort of the Dear Diary thing. You can do even better by sending a meme that's funny and points out the absurdity, okay? So anything that you can communicate via pictures or memes, especially early on, is really, really good. And by early on, I mean early in the text sequence. So when you're getting silence or you're getting shit test, that kind of stuff, that memes are really, really good for that, memes and pictures. Once you're into like the making arrangements and making plans stuff, you probably want to send your own texts for that and make it more personalized. But then the other thing memes are great for is, say you go out of town for a week, pictures and memes. You go out of town for a week, instead of having to write a lot of creative, interesting text and come up with a lot of conversation, just send her a picture from your travels. Send her a little meme that you came across. And it just is a reminder that she's there, you're there, you like each other. It's not a big deal. It's not at all try hard. It's pure value. And it also conveys no agenda, because the meme doesn't say, hey, do you want to make plans? And the picture doesn't say, hey, do you want to make plans? It just says, I'm sharing my life with you. So memes and pictures, massively, massively useful. Use them liberally, especially in the early stages of texting, and start to develop a collection of useful ones that you particularly like that resonate with your own sense of humor. The next text cheat code, and this one's hugely powerful, is what I call implied disqualifiers. Here's the idea. Most guys, when they're texting girls, are like, let's make plans, let's make plans, let's make plans, let's make plans. It's very pushy, very needy. The girl kind of hates it because she gets the vibe like, oh, you can't just interact with me. You don't just enjoy the vibe. You don't just enjoy communicating for its own sake. And it actually builds discomfort instead of comfort, which is what you want to be building. So what I do a lot of times is I'll throw in these little things that imply that I can't make plans. And then I'll continue texting as normal. So I might be like, hey, really, really busy this week, but da-da-da-da-da, right? When I say I'm really busy this week, A, it makes me seem high value and cool and like I have stuff going on. But the other big reason I'm doing it is to imply I can't actually make plans this week. Or I might even say actually going out of town for a few days, but anyway, blah, 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 right? If I'm going out of town for a few days, I obviously have no intention of taking her out on a date. Right? There's no pushiness, there's no need there, and so she's going to respond much more positively and receptively than she would otherwise. There's a lot less pressure on it, and it says to her, he actually enjoys the interaction for its own sake. So anytime that I think it's like long lead or it's going to take a few days or stuff like that, I'll start throwing in these implied disqualifiers. I'll start throwing in like I'm busy or I have this other thing going on or I'm, da-da-da-da-da. Like I might even say like, we should get to know each other better first. But anyway, right? Usually though in text, the implied disqualifier is a time one, a time or location disqualifier. I.e. I'm not in a time or location situation to see you. Massively valuable, especially again for girls that are not the warmest yet. If a girl's like texting with you and communicating, but she's not super receptive, not super positive, oftentimes just that little bump of knowing that you're out of town or busy or unavailable, she'll be much more open because she'll feel like you don't have an agenda. So use this to your advantage. It's massively powerful. A similar concept to the implied disqualification I just talked about, but even better, is traveling. Traveling is so good for your text game. Here's why. Number one, the traveling itself is an implied disqualifier. It says, I'm out of town, I'm just texting you for the fun of it, I'm texting you because I'm keeping in touch, etc. It builds much more connection because there's no agenda behind it. But on top of that, it conveys value. Most people associate travel with value. Most people live lives where they work 9 to 5, they don't get a lot of time off, and they wish they could travel more. So the fact that you are traveling, especially if you can take pictures of yourself traveling and that kind of stuff, but even if you can't, you could even fake it, right? You could even fake it and just like start texting that you are on a trip and that kind of stuff. You'd totally be fine there as well. The point is, the idea of traveling is such a value boost, at the same time such a comfort boost. Use it to your advantage and use it very liberally, right? One other tip as far as like when you're traveling and you come back into town, a good suggestion is don't even tell them that you're back in town yet. Just keep that traveling vibe where it's all really positive. And ideally, if it's good, they'll text you stuff like, when are you back in town? And then when you text back, oh, I got back yesterday, think about what that says. Because most guys, what are they doing? They're like, oh, getting back next week, can't wait to see you. Super needy, super try hard, super agenda. Totally terrible, right? Instead, you're just texting as per normal, and then you get back in town. Don't even text them that you got back in town, just having a good time and enjoying the interaction. She's like, when are you back? You're like, oh, got back yesterday. That says to her, oh shit, he got back in town. I wasn't even his biggest priority. Like, he's so busy living his life and so little agenda. He was literally even in the same town as me, just texting and having a good time. Oh, this guy's cool. I can hang out with him and nothing bad's going to happen. This guy's cool and the conversation will be good because he's not going to be needy, pushy, try hard, any of that kind of stuff. So use travel to your advantage massively, and actually even use the moment when you come back into the city to your advantage as well. Now, obviously, if you're back for like an extended period of time, let them know you're back. But you can give it a day or two, especially if the interaction's good, or you can sort of like let them ask first rather than having you tell them when you're back in town, right? If the girl's like, when are you back, when are you back, when are you back? It's pretty good odds that when you get back, good things are going to happen. The interaction you're about to see is a really great example of getting to know a girl over a period of time while you're traveling or away, or just because you can't hang out with her for a period of time. So this particular girl, I met her the day before I was leaving the country, and I actually had plans with other girls that night, so I couldn't have even seen her even if it had been on for that, which it probably wasn't. But in any case, I had a month away in Thailand, and during that month I had to not only like keep it warm, but I actually wanted to increase the connection and increase like the bond that we had back and forth. So you're going to see exactly how I do that. Before I get into the text conversation, though, I actually have the initial pickup recorded as well. So have a look. It's a pretty standard, just quick interaction. Nothing crazy, nothing super special. Just standard, competent, good pickup. Got the number, and we go from there. Pardon me. Hello. Hi. You look so very elegant. You're welcome.
Here?
Huh? No, I just thought you were cute and wanted to say hi. Is that crazy? A little bit? I don't know.
For you,
For me? Crazy for me?
I mean, like for American, it's crazy.
Oh, you're not American?
No, I mean, no, I'm not.
Where are you from? Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So you live here now, you're on vacation?
No, I live here.
Very nice. Are you liking it? Yes? You have such a good smile. My name is Todd. Todd?
Todd?
Yeah, you are. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So, who are you getting? Never mind. I was gonna make a joke, but it's okay. Never mind. This is a bad joke. Okay, so before you go, you seem very elegant, but I don't know you very well, other than you have a great smile.
Thank you.
How do you feel about the very American custom of drinks amongst cute boys and cute girls?
I like that you're giving yourself credit. Yeah.
I'll give you credit as well, so you know.
Okay. Okay. So
I like
you live here?
I do. Well, I'm moving here. So
From where?
from Las Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm actually here looking at places today. Then I'm flying to Thailand tomorrow for a month, and then I'm moving here in December. So kind of all over the place at the moment.
Interesting.
Yeah. Should be fun. I'm actually looking forward to, because I've been traveling for like the last 2 years. I'm looking forward to like actually living here and having a place and not traveling.
Santa Monica?
Probably. We're either going to do Santa Monica, Venice, or Hollywood. We're looking at the 3 right now. So we'll see. How about yourself? Where are you at? I like it there actually. It's nice. You're right in the middle of all my like places.
Exactly.
Wherever I live, you'll be near me. Okay, so what are you just shopping today? Hanging out?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you join me for a drink or smoothie or coffee? I'm good with any form of liquid imbibement and good conversation.
Well, maybe not today.
Okay. What's
Sometime later.
sometime later? That sounds good. Well, like I said, I'm flying out tomorrow, but
I will give you my number. So
Okay.
call me when you come back.
let's do that.
Okay.
That works. How do you
Perfect.
You are the only. I've never met anyone else with your name in my entire life. All right, what is your number?
424.
I will text you in a second.
Yeah, I can.
Okay. That is me.
Okay.
Save it. You're absolutely adorable.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. Yeah, I'll send you pictures from Thailand.
Please do.
Okay. I will. It was very nice meeting you. So after that pickup, or actually right during that pickup, I texted her her name, comma, my name, smiley face, just to make sure that we get each other's names in the phone, okay? And then didn't text her anything else until I was already leaving the country. So my next text then would be, headed to Thailand, hopefully we can catch up when I'm back. And so she says, have a safe trip to Thailand, don't forget to send me pictures, my email is, sends her email. So then, so that's all very positive. That's all really, really good. It's friendly-ish. And also, again, you'll notice in the interaction I said, I'm gonna send you pictures from Thailand. So because of that, there was already a bridge, a reason for us to continue. So I send her this hello from Asia, just a little picture, kind of cute little movie actually. And she goes, hey, how are you doing? So here I wanna have a little conversation back and forth. Just again, I'm not trying to sexualize it. I'm not trying to make it Superman to woman. I'm not trying to do anything really special. I know I have a month. Getting her turned on the phone a month before I can see her is kind of pointless. Mainly what I need to do is build good emotions, build comfort, and build an anticipation where she's looking forward to seeing my text, looking forward to talking to me. So it's mostly just offering a lot of value. When she engages with me, I'll engage, but I don't need to like keep it going a ton. I can end the conversation first. I can always re-engage 3 days later, 4 days later, a week later. I have plenty of time, so there's no rush whatsoever. But here I wanted to respond, so I said, good, Thailand's been fun, but also a dose of reality compared to the United States. She says, of course, when are you coming back? So this is good. It's all very conversational, right? And that's totally fine in this case. Now, I don't want us to get boring conversational, but there's going to be this period of getting to know her. I'm not going to be able to flirt and sexualize for a month straight. So I say a couple weeks most likely. We'll send you more pics and vids when I have data. So then I waited a couple days, and then I sent her another picture, your moment of zen, etc. She just sent me like a couple emoticons. Totally good. I love it. Cool. Again, no need to really, I mean, if there's a really good thing to engage on, by all means do it and get that conversation going, but there's no need to push the conversation here. Again, there's not a lot to achieve, so I just wait till something else cool comes up and then I'll send her that. So I send her a picture of this massive snail, say the bugs are out of control over here, right? She didn't even respond to that one, but it doesn't matter because it's just value offering. It doesn't require a response. So if she doesn't respond, she doesn't respond. Meanwhile, by the way, I had other girls that I'm also texting these things to, so she's not the only one. So then, no response there. So then, November 26th to December 6th, was that 10 days later? I sent her, couldn't resist the super touristy pic at Angkor Wat. She goes, haha, you look nice. Nice compliment, I'll take it. Very, very nice. Thanks, smiley face. Hope things are going well in LA. Seems like forever since I left. She goes, everything is good, when are you coming back? So because I'm not needy, because I'm offering value, she's excited to see me. It's very positive. She has no qualms about it. And also because I've actually taken the time and energy to follow up with her, it makes her feel more special. It makes her feel like what we have is more real than just a pickup. So it's a great way to build comfort. In fact, a lot of times you can get girls with this long lead style that would have been hard to get if you were pushing it and even if you were in town and seemed super available, because the very fact that you're texting from far away just shows that you actually care and that you're not just in it to have sex with them. So everything is good when you're coming back. I say just a few more days now. Perhaps we'll meet up at some point soon. right? And that's on the 6th. So then 3 days later, how are things in LA? I hope you're doing well. Now notice I don't say like, hey, I'm back in LA or anything like that. I'm just, how are things in LA? I hope you're doing well, etc. I'm good. It's getting cold in LA. I hope you're enjoying your vacation, right? And so now I'm gonna, instead of like, on the one hand, if you're like, hey, I'll be back in a week. Hey, I'll be back in 3 days. Hey, I'll be back in a day. You're making all this big buildup, like it's a big deal for you to be back and like you're really anticipating things and stuff. Instead, what I like to do is actually get back and not even specifically tell her, right? So she says, I hope you're enjoying your vacation. I said, I did, thanks. And yeah, LA feels so cold after Asia, right? So it's like I got back, I didn't even bother telling her. How non-needy is that? How cool, how not outcome dependent is that? It's like I didn't come back and just be like, hey, let's meet up so I can have sex with you. It's like, you know, oh, I'm back. Oh yeah, I didn't tell you, sorry, my bad. Right, I'm busy living my life, but at the same time, I also don't have an agenda. It's a really, really good combination. It says so many good things about you. So she says, did you come back, question mark? Like surprised? Yeah, late yesterday, right? So I didn't tell, I'm not like, hey, I'm back. I just let her discover it on her own. Much, much cooler that way. She says, welcome back. Say, thanks, good to be back. And then that's on the morning of the 12th. So that night, she goes, hi, how long is the jet lag? Right? So now she's engaging with me. Why is she engaging with me? It's because I'm not chasing her. I could have come back and been like chasing for plans right away. Could have been back and announcing it and trying to get together. Instead, I just built a really good vibe to make her want to see me. And now she's chasing me. Hey, how long is the jet lag? 12 times though, it's okay though. I enjoy sleeping. I probably could have like maybe pursued something there, but whatever, I just didn't. I just sent a cool, casual, friendly thing. But now, the next day, I'm like, okay, fine, it's time to actually go somewhere with this. It's been positive, I'm back in town, I'm settled, whatever. So now I'm gonna go, so may I ask you a slightly forward question? This is the start of my closing sequence, okay? Now, if she'd been like nervous about it or weird about it, I would have gone with something that's not a close or something that's just like a silly thing or whatever, but because she's positive, I'm gonna go for it. So she says, go ahead. I say, what's your view on drinks and witty banter with handsome, well-traveled men? She says, it depends. I mean, you said you will ask a forward question, right? And so she didn't understand that that I actually meant that as the forward question. She kind of didn't get the joke a little bit, but that's fine. I mean, if she's waiting for a forward question, that's a pretty good indicator. It's a pretty positive sign, so I'm good with that. So I say, well, if your view is positive, perhaps you should consider meeting up sometime. She says, sure. Now again, this is meeting up sometime. It's a general thing, so it's easier for her to say yes to it because it doesn't obligate her, but it's starting that ladder of yeses. Sounds good. What's your schedule like this week? She actually doesn't respond for 2 days. So then, ... question mark, we'll talk about this. Very, very important text. Again, that's just being entitled, right? When you get that silence in a place where it doesn't make sense, where you haven't done anything wrong, be entitled and actually like demand a response. So ... question mark says, oh, hi, I'm sorry, I forgot to reply. I'm flexible. What's a good time for you? Okay, cool. So her silence was just an oversight, no big deal. She seems super on, pretty easy. So I say, I'm free after 9 p.m. tonight and tomorrow if that's not past your bedtime. No, that's fine, but do you have a place in mind we can go to? And then from here, it's mostly logistics. Hey, sorry for the delay. Let's go to this particular establishment. She says, okay, see you at 9. And then I say 9:15, I'm with clients at 9, but I'll have to drive over. Looking forward to seeing you. And then here it's just almost there. Are you ready? Is it this place? Sorry, I'm late. Yeah, that's the right one. And then we have the follow-up the next day. It was fun meeting you last night. Definitely learned a couple things. It was nice meeting you too, right? And so again, everybody's happy. Everybody had a good time. Good times. The next cheat code I'm going to show you on its surface would appear to contradict the last two. So let me explain it in some detail. Okay? What I'm going to suggest is with a girl that you already have a pretty good text back and forth relationship with, who like she likes you clearly, but she's been flaky. Okay? It's a very specific scenario. She likes you, the texts are good, she's even like made plans and flaked a couple times, or she likes you, but she keeps saying she's busy, busy, busy. In that case, having a little urgency is very, very valuable. See, the last two, the disqualifiers and traveling, I talked about not having an agenda, right? Here it's not about an agenda so much because you've already kind of agreed with her that you like each other. But here it's a case of she likes you, but you're just very available. You're just very available. It's like, say for example, I like steak, right? But I don't feel like I necessarily have to have a steak tonight. However, if you told me that tonight is the last night of my entire life on earth, I'll be able to have steak, damn well I'd have steak, right? I would 100% have steak, and I'd miss it then for the rest of my life, right? So I like steak, but if there's no urgency, I won't necessarily get a steak, right? Same thing. She likes you, she's having a good vibe, but you live in the same town, she lives in the same town, you've been texting for maybe quite a while, even weeks or months. She's not like afraid that she's gonna lose you or that you'll suddenly stop texting her. So she wants to see you, but it's not a priority. And she doesn't feel like she'll lose you if she waits a day or a week or a month or whatever, right? And so she just never gets around to it, right? There's a thing in sales, they say later equals never, right? So she views you as I like it, but we'll do it later, or there's no urgency. In that case, letting her know you're leaving town and there's a certain deadline on it can be good. Or letting her know that there's like, you're about to go into this like massive work study program thing that's going to keep you super busy, so at that point you're completely like off the map, and if you don't see her by then, you may never see her. Sometimes that fear of loss and that urgency can make a massive difference, right? I've had so many scenarios where I live in a city for like 6 months, a year, and then I end up leaving, and it's that last week before I leave, or even like the last day before I leave. It's like all these girls that I couldn't get them out on a date. They find out I'm leaving, and all of a sudden, like, instead of they're flaky, all of a sudden I have 3 girls trying to see me the last night, and I have to sort through like which one can I even have time to see? Okay, and what did it? It's the urgency. So if you can create that urgency even when you're not leaving town, like if you're just leaving for a period of time or through other factors, that can be really good. But again, specifically it's for a girl that already likes you, there's already some level of comfort, and it's kind of implied you're gonna hang out, but just nothing's lit a fire under her ass yet. It can help to just like push her off the fence and get a good result. The final text cheat code is completely technological, and quite honestly, it falls under the category for me of life is dumb. Like, it's dumb that this works, but it does, so you may as well use it to your advantage, okay? And here's what it is. Switch to iPhone. Here's why, okay? A lot of attractive girls have iPhones. In fact, like the majority of popular social girls, probably, at least in the US, have iPhones, okay? When you message a girl on an iPhone, and she has an iPhone, the messages come up blue. When you message a girl and she has an iPhone and you have an Android, the messages come up green. On Android, there's no similar thing. And to be fair, the iPhone's considered more statusy anyway, so you wouldn't want that anyway. But here's what happens. Or here's what happened for me when I switched over to iPhone particularly, and for like all the guys that I know that do it. All of a sudden, some girls are kind of flaking. They go, oh, your text turned blue. Ooh, did you get an iPhone now? And all of a sudden, they're more receptive. It's a weird fucking thing, but to them, it's like you're in the same little club, right? You're in the iPhone club as well. It's like you have one more thing in common, and they fucking like it. Also, just the texts are more aesthetically pleasing in blue than in green. I don't know what it is, but it is true that girls will respond slightly more to an iPhone to iPhone message than they will to an Android to iPhone message. It's not the biggest thing in the world, but it does help. So if you're gonna be texting a lot of girls, you may as well have it working in your favor. So again, I think it's super dumb, but if it gets me more sex, then I'll do it. So I have an iPhone now.